Hello there, everyone. This is Neko here. We're getting ready to play Icarus, and today we're gonna be getting a few more items because I want to start getting into greenhouses and all that fun stuff. Because some of these farming missions are an absolute pain. They take forever. So I want to add in a water modifier, the greenhouse modifier, and maybe even fertilizer, but as far as I can tell, I don't know how the hell fertilizer works. So for now, I'm just putting all my crops in here. I think they count as seeds, which is I think why it says it will not spoil, which I'm absolutely thankful. Although it is potential that Kias might come and eat this. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've seen them come here and land on it, and I've seen some buffalo and other things come over too. Anyways, like I said, in my last episode, it was getting very cramped in here. But as you can see now, I've got all my benches surrounding me in a wide area. Some of them are useless now. Like, well, actually, this one ain't that useless because I can make fur and stuff, and it requires repair that electric, repair that textiles. So this one is for basically special armor like hunter and sandworm and buffalo and platinum weave, which I will tell you that's expensive for platinum weave. Now, for those of you who've seen, there was a update a couple days ago which added in dynamic dropships. And I will tell you, this is beyond expensive as hell for when using on missions. Like, beyond expensive. And you might be thinking, two composite, electronic, steel, iron, gunpowder, that ain't expensive. It is. And here's why. You have to get this crafting bench. And then you have to get this anvil. Then you have to get the stone furnace, at which point, after you get all that, you can then move to tier 3 bench, which requires you to get the machining bench, the electronics, the concrete furnace, the cement mixer, and then what else do we need for it? I'm not sure if you actually need... Actually, yes, you'll need the biofuel composter, a biofuel can on top of that. And then you're going to also need... And then once you've got all those items, you can then get a biofuel generator. Or actually, you have to get this. Then the biofuel generator. Then the electric furnace and the material processor. And then after all of that, if you don't have this, you have to get this on the tree, but that's not part of the cost because for this is counting the cost, which means after you get all of this and and the electric tool, because you got to hook up this to these. So you need that too. You can then finally, after all of that, make this. If you're going to be making this practical for mission use, here's my recommendation. Remove the composites, change it to platinum instead, or titanium even. Actually, wait. No, not titanium, because you have to get the fabricator. So, I thought there was a wolf attacking. I guess not. But oops, I recommend changing this to platinum. Let's say 6 platinum and 30 electronics. Keep the steels and screws, or increase the steels to about 50 screws, because that would be about one steel, half a steel ignite. You can increase the iron to about 10 and increase the gunpowder to about 10 also. And ta-da! It's still expensive, but it's more practical to use on missions because It isn't that you can actually pretty well get to the machining. Oops, stupid game. You can get to the machining bench pretty easily. In other words, you just need 40 iron plus that. So yeah, you can get a lot of iron very quickly, very easily. On top of that, you'll be able to start mining platinum with, let's say, a steel pick or whatever. And then, ta-da! You don't, because when you have to get into electric furnace and all that, it takes a lot of gold, a lot of issues. So there's my rant for that on the expensive. But anyways, like I said, we're getting into some other stuff. First, we're going to be getting a solar panel, a water pump. All right, gotta craft it. A water pump. Not that yet. Actually, I have one, but I'm gonna need more of these. And vapor condenser. And then after we got all those, the next thing I'm gonna want to get is probably another one of these because I'm gonna need to set up multiple electric deep mining drills. And then I'm gonna want to get one of these, but I think with the iron crop plot I have, I'll wait for that. So now that we've got most of these important things, I'm gonna have to start getting set up for these. I might play with this in the next episode because it's not too hard to actually go and get myself a bunch of fortifications. I mean, I've got iron right here. I've got all this unprocessed iron right here, which I can easily process. I got the electric drill already there. I've already got some spike fortifications ready. We've got more iron right here. We've got, I know I have a spot for a bunch of unprocessed iron. Here, we've got more iron right here. And we've got more iron right there. So yeah, I've got a decent amount of iron. In fact, I've kind of used some of it on the quest. So now that we've got that all covered, let's put this back onto here. I went ahead and started making this because you can add attachments to it, which at some point I plan to add in, what is it? Not that one. Not that, because I already have something like that. No, not that. No, not that. This one right here. This is the one I want to go for. The health regeneration in caves and chance to resist pneumonia. That means the chances of getting pneumonia even slimmer. And it's actually relatively cheap. Then I want to get probably... Ooh, I want to get one of these too, because that reduces the wear rate of items, which means tools, titanium, all that fun stuff. In fact, I think I may want to get that right now because my titanium tools are starting to go down. And then I may also want to get this one. And then for this one, I'm thinking health regeneration and physical resistance, and again the carrying if I'm planning to do a mass carrying. This one I want to get the swimming right here because if I can swim faster I might be able to escape the crocs. And then there's a few of these others, but pretty much that's what I plan to get at some point. Okay, so now we're on to the building mission, which, I mean, if you're still around, yay. If not, I kind of understand. I basically was ranting. So this building missions, I like them a lot. They're actually extremely easy. Or not extremely easy because you got to clear out bears and stuff if they happen to be in the area. But that with my methods of dealing with them, it's pretty easy. So where the hell do we need to go? I think I placed a beacon there once, but it fell. Either that or I placed it in here somewhere, so I may have to go back and fetch that beacon. Okay, so we need to put the crop plots up because I want to get greenhouses and stuff at some point. So where the hell are we going to store this? We can store that one, that one. What else? We can store a bunch of other crud. We can store this. Actually, we're going to need that. We can store that. We can stack this. Store, store, store. Store, 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 and store. Okay, now that we're all stored, we're gonna need some wood and other fun stuff. And I'm gonna have to start looking for some titanium again. One thing, like I said before in previous episodes, I want these resources, natural grown resources, to regenerate. In other words, let's say trees, plants, oxide. If you've played the game and listened to the story, it will tell you that the planet generates oxide. And that's why we have these all over the place. And then deep ore veins, I want those to be unlimited. Hopefully they can be. I don't know. And as you see, I've entered one of my beacon zones. I might upgrade those all to stone at some point in the future, just to make them a lot fancier and cooler, but at the bare minimum you just need one pole if it's structurally sound, and then you gotta figure out how to get up there. So I just did 4 poles and wrapped it around like that. So that's basically what we're planning to do at the other place. The question is, what issues are we gonna come across? Who knows? And we got a little ways to go, so I'll see you once I'm there. Alright, here we are. I cleaned up a tiny bit, so we have a little bit of room. What I tend to like to do is just take this one and place it right about in the center of this. Then we can place this up as high as we can get it. And as you see, oh, where the hell did that one get placed at? Oh, okay, I'll accept that one. I can place that right here, place that right there. But as you can see, it goes way up there out of reach, is why I usually do this. And then eventually it starts to get structurally unsafe, and that's where you do what I like to do. This is how I've learned their structure system works, was building poles, because I wanted to build a tower once because of I learned that if a solar panel is in the shade, it doesn't work. But if you can get it out of the shade as high as you can get it, it will last longer and give you power longer. And then I eventually came across the issue where I would start to reach the limit of how high these could go. And I was like, okay, let's add more structural integrity. Plus, now it may not be 100% accurate, which is fine, but this is what I like to do, and I also like to do a lot of my stuff for looks. So I will be, oh, not that, I'm gonna have to grab that one later, but I am gonna be putting X's across this, so in other words, it's gonna be, once I get this up, I'm gonna reinforce the other side too. This is actually quite an interesting design right here. I actually kind of like that. Alright. Now we get to throw this, and we're gonna probably need a lot more crafting, so we're gonna craft up more. We're gonna need probably, if it's 9, it's 9. If it's not, oh well. Then we're gonna need about, oh, we're low on wood. We're gonna need more wood. Okay. And as far as I can tell, chopping these down, if you leave the stumps, they decay, so that's just a little bit of extra wood you can get. I don't know if... Oh, nice, I leveled up. I've got 16 points to spend. I'm at the point where I kind of don't care about everything else at all. At this point, I'm only putting the points in because I have nothing else to put the points in. And we'll craft 9 of these, and then we'll get however many of these? 46. Perfect. Alright, now let's start reinforcing this structure side, and that's the one thing I really don't like is the glitchiness of the grass right there. That's like annoying the hell out of me. Place this. No, not way over there. Come on. This is the one thing that they need to work on is their... Fine, I'll place it like that. It's the placement of these so that it's easier to deal with. It gets real annoying very quickly. Okay, we've got that side, we've got this side. It won't be long till we can start getting the other sides. And then after that, I'll build my way up. This is kind of why I'm thinking about changing them to stone later on and building like this with them. In other words, upgrading to this look. That way, I can have nice little observation towers and be like, ta-da! Okay, come on. Alright. This is mostly taken care of, other than down here. But I really don't like that. You can also add in more structural stability by adding in across here. Oh, there we go. Add into there. If you're like going way, way, way up there. As you can see, that was blue. And if you look somewhere at the beginning of the video, about this height, it was green instead. See, there's green and there's blue. And if you were paying attention, you will have seen about up there was about greenish. If I remember correctly. I could be not remembering. Alright. Let's now start building our way up. And another thing is I would like to eventually change these to stone 2. So I don't have to worry about the weather. Come on, there. Stupid. You could also skip the floors here if you want to run across like this on the very edge right here. But that's a little dangerous if you're not careful. Actually, can we grab that one? Yes. Oop, there's a wolf. Woohoo! Okay, now let's add in these because I'm gonna want to add these in so I can run up and down. I might actually add some railing to these too. There we go. Alright, now we've got this tower slowly going up. And we still have a little ways to go up. Going up, up, and away, up, up, and away. I think I may need one more. We'll find out when we get up there. And this is kind of why I like these. They're extremely easy as hell. All they take is a lot of wood and fiber. But, I mean, it's kind of worth it. Especially once you get the XP from it. Alright. Oh. Stupid. There we go. And then we go, oh, woo. Okay, we're almost there, and we're almost done. Perfect. Just a tiny bit more building. Da, 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 da. Yep. I personally, I'm going a little overboard on this, but I mean, I kind of want to do it that way because I like the aesthetics of this. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like it with the wood poles. The issue I'm having is that over time, the floors and stuff will take damage, and then I've got to repair them to get up. And that part is annoying. Although, once I set this, I technically don't ever have to come back up. And I think we're pretty well there. So let's just set the... Oh, not that way. This right there. We'll set one right there. Right there. And can we set it up right there? And then do we have the beacon? Thankfully we do. And there we go. Beacon set. Watch the tower set. There's my reward. The reason why I set it on these is because if you set it on the floor here and it deteriorates, I think it will collapse. Which is why I think one of my beacons in here that I had set up at one point collapsed. Because I set it on the floor instead of a wood floor. Perfect. And this is kind of why I want to upgrade it to other looks. Now let's go grab our reward and call it an episode, pretty much. Flip. This is some really bad rewards. Oh well, I guess I'll take this. Ghillie suit's gonna be nice because of the perceived threat. And there we go, 21,750 XP for that. Alright, well, I guess for now we'll call it here because I had a little rant. We did a building mission. I talked about the cost of the one stuff. We got into the next set of equipment for the next episode, which is going to be me testing out the vapor condenser. Hopefully it doesn't take any electricity, but if it does, oh well. And then we'll be getting some fortifications, and hopefully we don't get slaughtered. So for now, if you guys enjoyed, please like. If you didn't, I understand. Most of it in the beginning was me ranting and all that fun stuff. But if you want to see more of this series, learn tips, tricks, helpful hints, and other fun stuff, you can always watch more at the end screen that comes up. If you want to be added on to the end screen credits like these people, make sure to publicly subscribe, and I'll add you on after about 2-ish or so weeks. If you leave before, or if you're private, I can't actually publicly acknowledge you. I got my other subscribers for that, or in other words, at the end of the credits here. And if you want to see other games, make sure to check out my home channel. And if you leave before I reach 1,000 though, I'll remove you off because it's for people who gave me a chance. For now, I'm going to get back home, continue to grind, and get ready for the next episode. So, bye-bye.